I just want to talk today about how to heal yourself from diabetes type 2 through the diet I'm about to explain. I've cured a few people with diabetes type 2 quite easily within quite a short amount of time as well, and the doctors have given them a clean bill of health in both cases, and I know it works in pretty much every case. I haven't heard of anyone where it doesn't work, in fact. So here it is. One case was my mother, age 79, diagnosed with diabetes type 2, had very high blood sugars, readings of 12 and above at times. Her age, I started her off with just basically quitting out the snacks. So eating 3 meals a day, no snacks, no calorie intake outside of those meals, because what we need to do is diabetes type 2 is caused by too much insulin and too often insulin spiking. So when insulin spikes all day long, every time you have something sweet, even sugars in your coffee or tea or honey or an orange juice or a biscuit or anything outside of your meals, which can be all day long in most cases, that causes an insulin spike, and the insulin, too much insulin spiking is what causes diabetes type 2. So the cure of it is to spike your insulin less. And to do that, you first start quitting all your snacks and all the sugary garbage that spikes insulin all day long. So I started my mum off with 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and no snacking. And she showed a little bit of improvement very quickly within the first couple of weeks. She already started to lose weight on that regime. Then I was getting her to move away from breakfast and just doing lunch and tea, because she was a little bit reluctant to change, because she said she doesn't feel good when she doesn't have breakfast, blah blah blah, all the usual stuff that people are afraid to do. Really, that's the problem. So I encouraged her to skip breakfast and just do a lunch and a dinner, because the idea is the closer together the meals that you have, the better off you're going to be. Because for a start, she started just doing 2 meals a day, so the insulin is only spiked twice instead of all day long. So they already started to show incredible improvements just doing the lunch and the dinner. Within probably 2 weeks, or probably not even that, within just over a week, she started returning normal blood sugar levels, readings. And she was, the doctor was monitoring that, and the doctor said, "This is great, like, what are you doing?" And, she told the doctor, and he said, "Oh, well, just keep going what you're doing, it's good." Even though the doctor initially wanted her to take medication, but she refused to take the medication and just started off with this diet. So her blood sugars are now under control. I would have rather her if she went into 1 meal a day, because that would have even been a quicker healing, long-term healing for her, but because of her age, I was pushing it just to get her to do the 2 meals a day, but she's got into the habit of that. Basically her diet, the food she ate was, she'd have for her lunch a very large salad, a green salad, lots of leafy greens, and some meat or whatever she had. Her breads, I told her to just keep it very minimal at lunchtime and rather eat your carbs at dinner time, because the longer you don't have carbs, or when they're low, you're in ketosis for longer, basically, and that just means that your body, because it hasn't got glycogen stores, sugar stores, because you're not eating for so long, that your body starts to utilise fats for energy and a source of fuel, which my mum was very overweight. So So she needs to lose some weight. So and that helps with the diabetes type 2 as well. But the problem is with diabetes type 2, most people in that category can't lose the weight because their sugars metabolism is stuffed up. They can't actually lose the weight, their body's just storing everything. So it's a double whammy. So with restricting her carbohydrate intake at lunch, and she only had her carbs at night time, that helped things a lot. So that's the regime that cures diabetes type 2. And probably within a couple of months she had a blood test and she was declared by a doctor completely diabetes type 2 free. So that was fantastic news. So she's no longer diabetic. Another case, a friend of mine was diabetes type 2 for probably over 10 years. He was on medication for years. He started off on 2 meals a day, but I was pushing him to go to 1 meal a day, which he did very quickly. He started eliminating his medication within the first week and just trying to trust the process and see what happens. He was also on blood pressure medication, which he started to reduce as well. So within probably a couple of weeks, he was off all medications, doing the 1 meal a day, eating whatever food he liked. He would have a green salad, meat, veggies. He loved his bread and pasta. He was doing that, but I was encouraging him to try and cut that back a little bit, keep that to a minimum, and eat rather some meat and vegetables, and make sure he has his green salad every day, which is really important. Within a couple of weeks, he was off all medications. His blood sugars were improving, and he couldn't believe it that it was working so quick. That he had lower readings, having no medication within a few weeks, and he basically thought he'd be on this stuff forever, getting worse and worse and worse, which it was. His blood sugars were out of control before that. He needed to actually increase his medications. But here we are, no medication, returning near normal blood sugars within a couple of weeks. And it just improved. After a couple of months in, he saw his doctor, they did a blood test, and it showed up that he doesn't have diabetes type 2 anymore. So that was just awesome. And they're waiting for another couple of months to do another blood test to confirm it, but it's already been confirmed through the doctor. He hasn't got it. He returned normal readings. He's lost 25 kilos, eating 1 meal a day. So that's what I encourage, and that's how to deal with diabetes type 2. And the main thing is, when you're eating it, if you're having the 2 meals a day, is to don't snack. You can't afford to snack in between those meals, because that's what's spiking the insulin. So the less insulin spiked per day, the better off your sugars are going to be, and your whole metabolism is going to reset. So your cells then will become sensitive to insulin again. They'll respond far better, and your sugars will greatly improve. So good luck everybody, and I encourage you to try it. As I said, it's worked in every case. There's no one who it hasn't worked for, and I've heard not only with myself but with many other people, they're cured from it. And in fact, this way is better than a lot of other methods that I've heard out there. Just 2 meals a day or 1 meal a day, you'll do great guns.